Hi, I'm Dave Barklow, pastor at Fort Walton Beach First United Methodist Church. Welcome to the Pastor's Study, our daily devotional to help us focus our mind on the things of God. We are going through the Gospel of Mark together. This week we find ourselves starting in Mark chapter 5, and it begins with a somewhat lengthy story. It's 20 verses, Mark 5, 1 through 20, about the Gerasene demoniac. And so I'm going to read that passage for us and make a few observations about it. So just settle back and listen to this story of Jesus' ministry. They came to the other side of the sea, to the country of the Gerasenes. And when he had stepped out of the boat, immediately a man out of the tombs with an unclean spirit met him. He lived among the tombs, and no one could restrain him any more, even with a chain. For he had often been restrained with shackles and chains, but the chains he wrenched apart, and the shackles he broke in pieces, and no one had the strength to subdue him. Night and day among the tombs and on the mountains he was always howling and bruising himself with stones. When he saw Jesus from a distance, he ran and bowed down before him, and he shouted at the top of his voice, "What have you to do with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High? I adjure you by God not to torment me." For he had said to him, "Come out of the man, you unclean spirit." Then Jesus asked him, "What is your name?" He replied, "My name is Legion, for we are many." He begged him earnestly not to send them out of the country. Now there were on a hillside a great herd of swine was feeding, and the unclean spirits begged him, "Send us into the swine, let us enter them." So he gave them permission, and the unclean spirits came out and entered the swine, and the herd, numbering about 2,000, rushed down to the steep bank into the sea and were drowned in the sea. The swineherders ran off and told it in the city and in the country. Then the people came to see what it was that happened. They came to Jesus and saw the demoniac sitting there, clothed and in his right mind, the very man who had the legion, and they were afraid. Then they begged Jesus to leave their neighborhood. As he was getting into the boat, the man who had been possessed by the demons begged him that he might go with him. But Jesus refused him and said to him, "Go home to your friends and tell them how much the Lord has done for you and what mercy he has shown you." And he went away and began to proclaim in the Decapolis how much Jesus had done for him, and everyone was amazed. So there's so much going on here. This amazing miracle having to do with this legion of demons and this strange introduction of pigs. So you might be wondering, why pigs? Well, Jesus got in the boat and went across the lake into a Gentile area. So this man, whom we meet as soon as Jesus gets out of the boat, you see that in Mark immediately? Mark is all about that next action. It's quick, it's fast. Things come at you very fast. But immediately this man meets him. And this man is thrice unclean. He lives in the area of the Gentiles. He lives among tombs, and he has an unclean spirit. All three of those things make him unclean, make him obviously unacceptable. The religious leaders would have said, "You need to really stay away from him. 3 strikes and you are out." Yet we see Jesus does not have the same idea. Jesus sees this man who is thrice unclean, who is here among the tombs in the Gentile area with an unclean spirit, and sees someone who is in need of his help, who is in need of his love, who is in need of his healing. And so he does heal the man. He does cast these unclean spirits out of him. We have this weird thing going on with the pigs, and the pigs, going and into the sea. What I think this illustrates, though, is that the people there did not understand what Jesus was doing. They didn't understand what Jesus was about. I mean, they're like, okay, something weird just happened. You just caused all our pigs to drown. That's a huge economic loss, right? They're going, you need to get out of here. They don't understand that literally Jesus just battled the cosmic forces of evil and won and saved a man from being inhabited by unclean spirits and being out of his mind for the rest of his life. Too often, I think I'm the same way. I don't want God to inconvenience me. I'm fine with God as long as God, wants to do things that make sense and do things that fit into my worldview. But man, if things get too crazy, if things get out of a little different, then I'm sometimes like, well, Jesus, you want to get back in that boat? I think we can all be like that sometimes. And we forget the cosmic struggle that we are engaged in every day as followers of the Most High God. So friends, today, let's act like followers of the Most High God. Let's be ready to confront evil wherever we see it. Let's be ready to care for people more than we care about things, because that's what Jesus did and who we need to be. Remember, friends, I love you. Take care of yourselves and shine the light of Christ.